Righto, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. It is getting on in July now. Let's not be messing around here. The year is going so quick. 2022 is really ballooning, and it is going fast. It is. There's a lot going on. There really is, all across the spectrum. So wherever you are in the world, wherever you are, however you're tuning in around the interweb. Welcome. It's lovely to see you. You can come and join the show if you want to. And we're going to be chatting about this and that. I haven't prepared anything really for tonight. I've been very busy at work. And my first thought is really to show my love and respect to my brother Alan Merritt, whose wife has sadly passed away in the last couple of days. As a minister myself, you know, I understand what this world's all about and where we go. Death for me is really not that bigger thing for me. I know where we come from and I know where we're going. So big love to you, Alan. And we're all praying for you, mate, right now. So God bless you. Davey, baby. 2 days. 2 good-looking fellas in the house.
Boom!
Boom, shaka. How are we?
I'm all right, mate. I've been very, very busy. We've had a lot on. We've had we've had a lot going on under our banner. I just caught the tail end of what you just said, I think.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I was just sending my condolences and my love to Alan with regards to
just literally got off the phone to him.
Yeah, bless his heart, man. Bless him.
He's not in a good place, obviously.
No, he's not.
I can't see the chat. Do you know what I'm going to have to do? This is wakeupuk.net, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah.
Log into wakeupuk.net.
Oh, hello. He's got.
I'll have to turn the volume down, otherwise you'll get feedback.
Ooh. Not off my forehead.
Boom, 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 boom.
Bosh.
Give me a rest, mate.
You can't park that there, mate.
Can't park. I just done a geezer. Funny enough, I was at an Italian restaurant just now. I've just got back from there, and where am I? Why has it gone into his fucking Facebook account?
Who, mine?
No, it's gone into Wake Up's Facebook for some unknown reason.
Oh, I don't know.
Wakeupuk.net.
Always talking further to it now.
Join. Live stream chat room. Here we go. I'll see the chat.
Saves all the typing, doesn't it? Saves you typing the ivories. Telling you.
I love this talk. Oh, my chat's disabled in here for some unknown reason, so I can't see the chat anyway. So I'll put Dave, do me a favour, because there's something I'm particular about when I do lives, wherever I do on my own or with someone else. I do like to keep an eye on the chat myself. So whatever comments are coming up, if you can either pin them or just say hello or whatever it is. I spoke to Alan. Kathy passed away, bless her little heart, at 0600 hours on Tuesday morning.
Bless.
Alan got the phone call from the hospital. He phoned a couple of family members. He phoned myself, and we had a chat. He was in bits. Alan's a very obviously most people know Alan Merritt and his background. He's a very. I don't want anybody to think this is a derogatory comment or anything like that, because I just say it as I say it. It's my words, and however you take it, you take it. But Alan's very soft-centered. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, and I get that.
You know
that's a nice comment.
Yeah, everyone's different. You know what I mean? And when it comes to a family member passing or a friend or somebody like that, everybody reacts differently. And Alan. I wouldn't say he breaks down. He's emotional. He's a very emotional guy. Very much like Clive Spencer. Clive, you know, the tears come very, very easily with Clive. Hang on, I've got a fucking seagull. I'm about to stick in.
Seagull? Yeah, oh! He's got seagull problems.
Get out. Now, fuck off. Out the window. No, you're not getting out of there, are you? You're not getting out of there.
He's got ladies and gentlemen, just for those of you that are not aware, he lives down the coast, and I think he's been feeding them, and I think they've come to invade him. Is it Albert? You've been reading Albert Hitchcock novels? I think he's got snow growing in the background now. Look, we've got snow. It looks like it's blazing up with snow. What's going on? It's all over the place. This don't happen on the BBC, does it? Don't happen on the BBC. Seagull, get tink blues. That's it. Yeah, get out. Sounds like he's talking to a copper. Get out. Don't come back in. So someone's just put up a dirty copper's shot a 16-year-old farmer lad. I think that's in Holland, and it's all been kicking off right there. Well, I'm working right next door to Kent Police's training ground, and mate, I think a lot of these people are psychopaths, in government. I really genuinely think they're psychopaths. But there you go.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, mate. Did you get a seagull?
Stephen, he thought the dog biscuits are empty, but unfortunately I've left the big 2 kilo empty plastic bag on my coffee table, and he decided to come in through the lounge window and onto the coffee table and see if he could actually get anything out of the packet. He can't. And then he decided to try and get out of a closed window.
Did you manage to wrestle with it, Dave, and pin it down?
You got to be careful because they've got fucking big beaks, mate. They will take your fingers off.
So
I've had to get a pole and open the window and usher him towards it, and he's gone now. Yeah. He's fucked off.
Oh, anyway, I'm glad
Alan's
Stephen
right.
the Seagull. Stephen the Seagull.
Stephen the Seagull. Stephen Seagull. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. Yeah. Moving on.
So moving forward. So I've just got off the phone to Alan. He didn't want to put anything out on Facebook. Obviously, people have started to tumble, for want of a better word, that he's not been on social media for the last coming up for 4 days.
Yeah,
now. He's not been on the. He came on the live on Monday because obviously everything was manageable then, and Kathy hadn't passed, bless her. And then he came. Obviously, he didn't come on Wednesday, but we cancelled the show on Wednesday anyway for other reasons. And he wouldn't have been on the show possibly tomorrow. And then by then, a lot of people have put 2 to 2 together and realised something, a drama was going on, so to speak. So, yeah, bless his cotton socks. He's the love of his life, who he's had with him for 40 years.
It's terribly sad, man.
But it's only the body that's gone. The spirit's still there, isn't it?
Amen, brother, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mate, listen, that's a subject I could talk about for hours. I've been to the other side.
I'm an atheist. You know what I mean? I am an atheist. Not such a thing as a practicing atheist, I don't believe. You know what I mean? I don't ram my beliefs down people's throats, nor than I expect others to ram theirs down mine. And whatever gets you through your day, gets you through your day, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
True enough.
But Alan's comfort is that Kath's with his sister and her mum.
Yeah, mate.
And he's got his memories forever, hasn't he?
It's a tough one, isn't it? It's your missus is your right elbow, isn't it?
I've never known really myself. Well, I've not lost a child. You know what I mean? Myself personally, I know people have, but I don't know what would be the worst between a toss-up between the missus or a child. What would be as bad as each other? I presume. You know what I mean?
It's always it's always the ones that are left behind. We all get to think about, this and that. I mean, I'm a scripture boy, and I know that there's far more to this existence than this little mesh, this meat outfit. So yeah, it is what it is. We go home, mate. This ain't. The Bible says you're in the world, but not of the world. So it is what it is, isn't it?
I've heard so many different slants on all that. You know what I mean? I had a friend back in the day whose son, at the age of 12, I think he was 12, was he, Dave, or 11? 11 or 12 years old, the lad was. And he was playing on not a builder's merchants, but it was on the wharf in Littlehampton, where they stick all the sand and the gravel off the ship.
Yeah. They pile it up.
He was, pile it all up. and he was playing on that with a few of his mates, and eventually he was at the top. As he got halfway down, mucking about like they do kids, it slipped and it buried him alive. And but his dad, to this day, believed that the earth, as we know it, is a prison, and we've done various crimes, and we're sent here for our sentence. And the smaller crime we commit, the earlier you get to leave. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's definitely a prison planet. It definitely.
Yeah. So his son, as far as he was concerned, his son had committed a very small crime and was sent back to home, wherever that happens to be. Whatever squares it away with the person and gives you comfort, whatever you believe, and it gives you comfort and it lets you square things away. I'm cool with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
And I recently saw another fella, like a Dalai Lama type, an Indian chap he was, probably a Hindu or Sikh, and he was saying that there's a better place than this. People say there's a better place than this, but his slant on it was that people believe there's a much better future, a much better place that we're going to go to. And if it's that good, why don't you go now? That was his slant on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, there'll be people who say, well, you can't go now until he wants to take you, until it's your time. You're not allowed to go early. You can't cheat the gates, sort of thing. So, yeah, you could go on about that forever, can't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm a very spiritual man, so I know what goes on, and it's all cool. You know, like you say, as long as people are happy.
Whatever gets you through your day. Listen, if you believe pixies live at the bottom of your garden, and you go down and you leave them bowls of water at night, or hot milk, or whatever you do, and bits of bread or cakes and fairy cakes or whatever, and that gets you through your day, through your week, through your month, through your year, and keeps you happy and warm inside, mate, you're not hurting anyone, are you?
No, you're not. No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No harm, no loss, no injury. Crack on.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. You know they've pulled the Georgia Guidestones down in America. Do you know about the Georgia Guidestones?
The who?
Georgia Guidestones. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
Right. So these Guidestones were put up in the 70s, and they're like a little mini erection of Stonehenge, and on them there's inscriptions, and they're all carved out in 7 different languages. And what it says is that by 2050, mankind will be at 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Now,
28 years time.
Yeah, well, it's not long. And
fucking long enough, mate. I won't be here.
You don't know. They got a time capsule. No, you don't know that. They got a time capsule buried in the ground. Nah, you don't know. You never know.
No, that's the beautiful thing about life is you don't know. It could be be in an hour, it could be in a month, it could be in a year, it could be never. You know what I mean? The nice thing is we don't know. Would you want to know?
Don't know. Anyway, the Georgia
apps and look it up. Do you know that? You can go. There are apps and websites that you can go on. You can put in your date of birth and all sorts of other nonsense, and it will tell you the time, the date, and the place.
I wouldn't be thinking that God would have much to do with Google. To be fair.
No, I'm not saying that it's him. It's the Google gods that tell you, evidently.
Well, the man has worshipped false idols. I mean, that's one of the commandments. Don't worship false idols. Don't make graven images. We've all made graven images. We've all made false idols. Now, I see a woman spiritualist quite a few years ago, and she said to me, I was a very old soul. She said, you was here at the beginning of time. She said, but this is your last incarnation. You don't need to come back anymore, because you've learned your soul lessons. And I think in many ways that is...
Can you get a tax rebate on the other trips or not?
I don't file tax returns, Dave. I'm a proper lawful rebellionist. I don't want nothing to do with this system. Now, years ago, I did. I was all for it. You
Are
know,
you self-employed?
I run my own firm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done all right. I don't want nothing from them. And at the end of the day, I just started to see things years ago, and I thought these people that run this, that give us the impression they're there for us, they're sort of all that, they're actually quite wicked people. And I'm certainly not wicked. And so I decided to turn back and tell them to jog on, as I did with many other agencies that work for the government. And so yeah, that's who I am. You know, I'll roll the dice. I'm as man is, and I don't think any of us should have any masters. If we've got to do what they tell us, then we've got a master, right? It's true, though, isn't it? I mean, looking at it pragmatically, logically,
you don't own anything, then you don't own your own house or nothing like that.
Nobody does.
Well, I do. I own for quite a few properties, funny enough.
That's a big debate that can get very heated.
There's no debate about it. I've paid for them. I don't owe a fucking bean on them.
So if you was to go into a court of equity,
a court of equity,
yeah, equitable court,
yeah,
and what the barrister and the judge would say is what was the thing of value that David paid for his houses with, and because we've all used, well, that's it. So it's just a promise, but we don't own it.
Of course it is. It's all fictitious, of course it is. But the bricks and mortar ain't fictitious, is it? That's definitely fucking there. You can touch. Listen, when it's not fictitious, when you can touch it, feel it, and smell it.
That's equity.
Like one of them.
That's equity. That's equity. Yeah. So, but because it's in a title, a Crown copyrighted owned title, Mr., Mrs., Ms., it's Crown property. So I think mankind has stopped using Crown property, and many of us are now. But yeah, so if it's all in Mr., let's say me, David Paul Witcher, if it's Mr. David Paul Witcher, then it's a fiction that own it. Now, my mate stood up in front of a judge quite a few years ago. He put his hand on his heart, and because this judge was looking for a Mr. So-and-so, and my mate went, as God is my witness, Mr. So-and-so's dead. And the judge went, well, how long's he been dead? And my mate went, hasn't he always been? And the judge went, bang, next case, thanks for coming. See you later, out of court. Because they only deal in dead entities. But the government own it all. They own the cars, the roads. That's why, look, if a man can come and take your house off you, or take your car off you, without lawful excuse, then you didn't have it it weren't yours in the first place. And we never used to live like this. Before 1930 odd, a man had property rights. We don't have property rights now. We were sold out by the banks. If you can get this book and you can have a read of it, the UCC Connection, and you'll see in 1937 that all the judges and that were brought in to a side room meeting or wherever it was, and the banker said, right, we own the fucking lot. We're enslaving all the people. They won't own nothing, but they're going to be very happy. So that's why you have to go to court and argue over council tax. I mean, your property should...
I haven't paid... In this property I'm in at the moment, where I am, and I'll be here... I'll have this forever, I expect. I will. But anyway, this property I'm at the moment, this one in particular, which is my registered residency, as you know, you have somewhere where you're resident. I haven't paid any council tax in 7 years. I've been to the steps of the court twice. To the steps, and they've never wanted me to go any further than the steps.
Good.
They've always backed off and gone, no. We know what you're going to say.
Yeah, they can't prejudice the people. The Crown prejudice the people. So when you let them know, whoever it is coming at you, you're prejudicing me. You know, they have to stop. The Crown has to stop. That's the Bill of Rights is very clear on that, and it says, you know, all right, it was written in 1688, 89, but it said forevermore and for all the heirs and successors. So Crown successors today, Boris Johnson and that, are no different from what they agreed to back then. So if it says that you must respect the people's ancient rights, customs, and liberties. Years ago we never paid VAT. It was only because of wars, and we've just been, we've been a very dumbed down people, and we're coming out of it. And I'm very grateful to say it's been a hell of a ride. But I'm glad you're taking that stance, Dave, because councils are you pay.
I don't pay for anything. I only pay for something that if I know in my own person that I'm getting value for money.
There you go. Good for you.
If I'm not getting value for money, no more than I'd have someone coming. That'd be no different than me having someone coming into a shop, whether any of my businesses, past or present, and charging them £700 for something that's £500. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it to somebody else. No more. So I wouldn't accept someone doing it to me. You know what I mean? I just won't have it.
Yeah. Fair play. Because you are a bit of a rebel, aren't you? You like taking your fireworks up to Parliament, as we found out.
That's an ongoing case. Funny enough, that's still ongoing.
See, I fail to see how, like, any issue like that can end up in a courtroom. There was a court case.
It'll end up in the form of a check.
Yeah, good.
That's how it'll end up, because it's now with I put it with the solicitors. I think 2 days ago. Was it yesterday or the day before? Yesterday or the day before. I gave it over to the solicitors because now it's got to the point. That they won't talk to me anymore. The Met won't talk to me.
Well, they're in special measures. The Met, and 6 other constabularies, they're in special measures.
Every single police force in the United Kingdom should be in special measures.
They should be, really.
Of course they should.
What do you think is going on at the moment then? I mean, I don't like politics. I detest it with a passion. What do you think? What do you make of what's going on?
Cliff Richard's back. He's re-released a single. Kerry doesn't live here anymore. Running a function. Cliff loves it.
Cliff loves it.
Never happened with Boris getting the fucking hell away. But what'll happen is you'll get one snake. Well, Boris isn't so much as a snake as a clown, is he? He's the clown, isn't he? He's the class clown. You know what I mean? And not a very fucking good one, but he is funny. He's fucking hilarious, really.
Boris?
It's been fun. Yeah, he's fucking mate. Listen, to turn up as he does in his fucking Marks and Spencer suit and his fucking unkempt hair, and he's the one who we put on the world centre stage as this is our leader. You couldn't fucking, mate, to roll him out. He should come out on a fucking sack, on a sack barrow, shouldn't he? You know what I mean? Just fucking as a stiff like that, and just roll him out on a sack barrow. He's only missing the fucking shoes, the nose, and the fucking silly fucking wig.
Clown act, isn't it? Clown act.
He is a clown. But the last time I voted was for Boris Johnson, because the choice I had personally was for a dangerous clown, which was Corbyn, or a fucking funny clown, which was Boris. And I knew that the worst thing Boris could do, is fuck everything up. You know what I mean?
But Dave, what do they actually do?
What do they do?
Well, look, when the Queen comes in and says, "I'm shutting down Parliament for 3 months," I'm proroguing Parliament. She shuts it down. The whole country don't have an issue fit. The lorries don't stop delivering isopops to PJ
because they don't run anything, do they?
So why do we need them? Why do we need them?
You don't.
That's what I'm saying. So can't we shut it down?
Of course you can shut it down.
See, I've never understood this mentality, and the mentality and the rationality of this is, why would you have 65 to 70 million people of a nation being controlled and shafted by 650 men and women? Why would you allow that?
Well, because what they did was, and this is not my analogy, I'm going to try and do. I went to a show last night by a gentleman called Chris McGlade. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No.
Chris McGlade is the Northern Monkey. He's from Redcar. You can see him on Facebook. He's on Facebook. He's a comedian, working class comedian and poet. And Chris McGlade, just to give you a bit of a background on Chris, he's from Redcar. He's from the the industrial heart of the Northeast, and his father was murdered by his lodger. And Chris McGlade does a show called Forgiveness because he forgave his dad's murderer. He went to the prison and told the fellow, I forgive you for what you did. You know what I mean? I've got no malice, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Chris does a show called Forgiveness, and he wrote a poem called The Right to Hate. If anybody wants to see it, it's available on YouTube. It went viral, The Right to Hate. He's been a comedian stroke poet for just over 40 years now. And he's done the working men's circuit, and he got cancelled during the lockdown. He did a walk on the very first lockdown. He walked from Redcar to 10 Downing Street to give Boris a poem and a letter saying, could you please fucking leave my grandkids alone with your injections and everything else. So he's quite a fucking bloke when it comes to that sort of thing. Anyway, this is Chris's analogy. This is how it all went wrong, right? Because what they did was they took a pressure cooker, and they took the indigenous population and put it inside the pressure cooker, and they put in a pinch of Muslim, a pinch of Christian, a pinch of Arabs, a pinch of Africans, and they put all these different things into the pressure cooker. They turned the heat up, to low, and when things got a little bit excitable amongst the different people and the walks of life within the pressure cooker, the release valve was allowed to go off, and it took the pressure away. And then what they did, they put a little bit of LGBT in there, then they had a bit of racism, and then they had some more stuff, and they cut the fucking pressure valve off.
Ooh.
And that's where we've got to.
Big time.
Where we are now. That's what they've done. That's what they've done. Because back in the day, right, I was allowed to say Paddy, Paki. I'm off to the Paki shop, which is Pakistani. It's short for Pakistani, Mick, Paddy is short for Irish. Jock is short for Scotch. There was no racism in it. Never was there any racism in it. There was no racial connotations, It was part of the working class lingo, so to speak, It was part of our heritage. It's how we spoke to each other, wasn't it? You know what I mean? There was never, ever any racial connotations in it. There was never any hate in it. And so these things were all brought in to add to the pressure cooker.
Putting fuel on the fire.
The release valve has been removed. You know what I mean? Not only did they remove the release valve, they have now turned up the fucking heat on the cooker. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that pressure cooker, 60% of the nation, working class, black, white, pink, blue, orange, green, Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Catholic, Protestant, Jew, is ready to fucking explode.
It's what how did you get on with your Cedric Edwards podcast? I love Ced. Did you enjoy it, Cedric?
Cedric, yeah, it's good. Yeah, he's a nice fella,
isn't he?
I've been following Cedric for about 2.5, 3 years, something like that. 2.5, 3 years.
He's lovely, isn't he?
He's a nice fella. He is a very, very nice fella. And at one point, about a year ago, I was on I was just doing like most people do. Tap into the lives, comment on the comment section. And
lurking, they call that lurking.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was about or what the topic was about, but he got the wrong end of the stick. Does that make sense? Like people often do,
Yeah, you can do it. It's easy done, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Well, because it's called perception, isn't it? You know what I mean? Your perception of me is your perception. You know what I mean? I don't try to bend that or change that. That's your perception. You're rightly to make up your perception however you want, but that's your responsibility how you make up your perception of me. Mine's my responsibility how I make it up of you, and vice versa, and for everyone else. But when you perceive something to be, and it's wrong, you've got the wrong perception, you've perceived it wrong, and you've got the wrong end of the stick. And he started getting out of his pram a bit, you know what I mean? And I just put him in the Dave Swift fucking Boston hold and told him to go and fuck himself, you know what I mean? Like you do.
Who's this?
But we spoke offline afterwards.
Yeah.
And like grown adults should do.
Amen.
Oh, and eventually you find out, oh, that fucking hell, you wasn't. Oh, right, I got the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah.
And you apologise, and I apologise, and rah rah.
Takes a man to do that.
A bromance takes over, as they would say today, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? And you just get on, didn't you? Because like Mike's not here now, is he?
Mike's having a meal out tonight in West Malden High Street. He's slutting it up.
Well, you know, Mike's got his views on certain things that I don't agree with, and I've got my certain views that he don't agree with. But when I've come on here before, yeah, we've never fallen out, have we? You know what I mean?
No.
It might get a bit loud sometimes, or you know, because you want to be heard, I want to be heard, he wants to be heard. You know what I mean? But you don't fall out over it, do you?
It's pointless. No. It's very tough. I mean, I can count on two hands the amount of people I've probably blocked over the years, and that's just because they were just being absolutely pathetically stupid.
6-7 people a year I probably block.
Yeah, it's not many, and I feel bad about doing it. But you can ask someone to stop the abuse a few times, and in the end, you just think, you know what? I just want an easy life. I don't want to come over.
I don't block them over abuse. I block them over because they'll fucking just become a pain and start reporting you and you know all that malarkey. But it's not because I don't want to be on Facebook. I couldn't give a fuck really either way. It makes no fucking difference to my life. In fact, when I do get a ban for 30 days, I feel it. I take it as a touch. You know what I mean? Because now I can fucking leave it alone. I can do something else. It's 2 hours or 3 hours of the week that I get back, and I can use it to do something else. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the fucking world at the end of the day.
Are you still working?
It can become a pain in the ass when people want to get hold of you. You know what I mean? For something important because they're not feeling well and they're feeling suicidal, or you know what I mean, and they haven't got your number, but they'll go, or someone will say, DM Dave Swift, he'll speak to you if you're feeling that fucking way and you're thinking about calling it a day. When you get banned for someone being a complete fucking prick because they can't take it back, and you have a 30-day ban, and that can affect somebody else's life, that becomes a pain in the arse. You know what I mean?
It's pretty unrestricted in many ways, is social media. But then again, maybe that's healthy in some ways because we've had the mainstream has been so one-sided and got even worse now. I mean, my mate Dell's just shared a picture tonight. They're teaching kids at school now, like primary school, masturbation and where to touch your private parts, and I'm just like, this is gone beyond sick, mate. It's look, I've always maintained, just let kids be kids. It ain't much of a lesson to sit down when they're 13, 14, have a little chit chat about this and that, or if they become curious. But to teach sort of 4, 5, 6-year-old kids about masturbation, about sex and private, I think it's sacrilege, and I think school teachers and headmasters should be fucking embarrassed with themselves. I really do. But then again, oh hello, got back feed. You've frozen up on the screen, by the way, Dave.
I know. I've just noticed that. That's why I just jumped onto the other phone. Do you know what I'll do? I'll jump out and I'll jump back in.
Oh, do the jump around. He's jumping in and out. Right. Okay. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I'll jump out. I'll leave and come back. Yeah.
Okay, sweetheart. Right, Dave's coming back in. Very nice to see him tonight. So, by the way, whilst we're waiting for Dave to sort himself out, I'm just going to share this screen because I want to bring you some information with regards to original Bitcoin, and this is quite powerful. Okay, this is the genuine Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. You've got your hand cash wallet here that you can take 5 minutes to set that one up. And here's the thing, we're going to be talking about this because Bitcoin have got cash machines. Bitcoin also do vouchers that you can get, and you can go and spend them in your supermarkets and down your high streets and many, many, many more. See, and what you see, it says Bitcoin digital decentralized peer-to-peer. Now, we're always at court, aren't we, saying I want my peers to judge me. So peer-to-peer is very, very powerful. Now, because corporations can't take and accept this, it's a very powerful thing. So if you've got a bailiff or a council or whoever really leaning on you, wanting to take court action, this is, say, we'll just offer them Bitcoin. Say, look, and to be fair, we had the Lawful Rebellion and Debts site. He'd done a podcast on Sunday night, and within 2 hours, it had just shy of 10,000 views, and YouTube pulled it because we had a banker come on and say, listen, guys, the original Bitcoin crypto is a people fight for the people by the people currency. It's tangible. It's a commodity. So if you offer these people payment, just say, give us your Bitcoin wallet, we'll get you paid. They can't accept it because corporations can't accept it. It's really good. Now, there was a woman. She's the Queen of the North, Haley. She had a Virgin credit card, and there was 500 odd quid on there. So she phoned them up and said, excuse me, she said, before I pay you this thing, can you send me through the original contract that I signed? Just a copy of it. That do fine for my records. Anyway, they set her bill to zero. From 500 odd quid, it's gone to zero. So then she phoned them up again and said, what's gone on? And they said, well, you've paid too much interest in the past. That's what. So it's funny how it all went back to zero. But then she said, well, you best give me another 160 quid. So they slammed her another 160 quid into her account, and then they closed that credit card account. So we're starting to, sorry, Dave, you've gone again, mate. I don't know where we are. We're really starting to win now. But this Bitcoin thing, it's amazing. I can share that screen again if you guys want it. So if you've got a bailiff kicking your door down, if you've got water rates, you just ring them up and say, give us your Bitcoin wallet, I'll get you paid. And then when they say we don't accept it, you say to them, are you refusing my payment? Then you're not in dishonor. They can't really go nowhere with it. We're honestly on so many levels now, 2022, we really, really, really are winning. And we're winning hard. There's so many great things. Now, after my near-death experiences years ago, must be 15 years ago now, I chose, rather than to die, I chose to come back and just start speaking. And it's opened my world up like there's no tomorrow. I know so many people all around the country, all different races, creeds, colours, blah, blah, blah. But it's done one thing. But one of these things that I come back with was that the world's going to change. People are waking up. The atmosphere is going to change. People ain't going to tolerate this nonsense no more. And you're going to say really good things are going to start happening. You're going to see monuments being pulled down. You're going to, but do you know what I mean? To get rid of all the dirty, dark side, get rid of all the dirty, dark politicians. And when I see that the Georgia Guidestones has now gone, I'm thinking to myself, wow, man, this is powerful. This is powerful. Sonia Yar in the chat room. Nice to see you, Son. Thanks, Dave. That's why I can't find it there. They deleted it, scumbags. Sonia says they're letting the drag things into the library to read story time. It is sick. Alan, love you, Alan. We're all thinking of you, mate. And we generally, I was going to say some prayers tonight, but I'll skip that. And yeah, I don't want to make you any worse than you are, but bless your heart, mate. You ain't, yeah, it's tough, Al. I can't imagine how you're feeling right now, but we send our love to you. Dave Witcher, can I see the Zoom call that you was talking about last Sunday? Well, you could do, but YouTube have pulled it. They've pulled it. And he's in the chat room tonight. Good Nation is in the chat room. He's popped into the show to see it. He can come and join me if he wants. If he wants the link, I can put the link up in the chat room. Anyone wants it? Here we go. Control V. There's the StreamYard link if anyone wants to pop in for the last 25 minutes. And we've got Loquacious live. Loquacious Dave, thanks for tuning in, mate. I don't know where you are. I don't know if you've got computer problems, or maybe Steven Seagal, the Seagull's popped back and he's decided to get his in the window frame. You don't know. You don't know. So yeah, things are really, really, really changing. You're seeing the political system, and it's good. It's good. It's good. You need these. You need to throw everything up in the air every now and again, because everything becomes stagnant. We've become so used to being abused by the state party system, this communistic system, that we just accept it. We absolutely 100% accept it. And that, guys and girls, is very sad. That is an absolute travesty as far as I'm concerned, that we just go, oh, well, it's only the police. Oh, well, it's only the courts. I can't stand that. I think it's disgusting. We've become such a pacified nation. It's unbelievable. I can send it on Telegram. Oh, it's all going on here. Who we got in here? Sharon Clark. Sharon, nice to see you, darling. Hope you're feeling very well, Sharon. Yeah, we're doing all right, mate. We're doing all right. I'm just talking bollocks tonight. I haven't really I've had my head down and my arse up this week working hard in a bathroom. So I haven't really been paying attention. I've been working next to Kent Police Headquarters, and today I can hear them out there doing their firearms practice and maybe some taser, and they're telling everyone to get down on the ground. And I'm thinking, that's all very well and good, all them people doing that. But what kind of a country have we become when that needs to happen? You know, I don't understand it. Working hard in the bathroom, careful. Hello, not like that, no, Jesus Jones. No, I'll send you some pictures of it when I finish. It's coming along very nicely. If people didn't care, what we saying, Paulie Art? Nice to see you, Paul. If people didn't care, they don't think politicians care now. Yes, mate, I like that one. Look, the political system has been seen, hasn't it? It is on full view. The whole world is going, well, you know what? You're up to from the double jabbing. I mean, now there was actually, whilst I'm talking about that there was on Strictly Come Mincing, that Jason guy, really lovely fella, beautiful smile, beautiful set of teeth, man, beautiful set of teeth he's got. And he was the very enthusiastic pundit. You know, he used to give arse and get lots of boos in the crowd, but he was fair as well. But even he's come out the other day and he said, I feel absolutely incensed that I'm being silenced and I can't get my voice out there. Here's the thing. People like us only do what we do because we sound drungle drums. That's all we do. We sound drungle drums, and we want people to get information so that they can at least think about things and think, I might listen to that and I might not have these jabs and I might just save myself. So Jason was very, very upset. I don't know if you see that, David. Did you see Jason?
Can you hear me?
Hello. I can hear you, but your screen's frozen. Dave? Yeah, you're not. We can't see you, and we've got a lot of feedback now as well.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I haven't got a clue what's going on, Dave.
Well, we can hear you, darling. There's nothing wrong with them dulcet tones. They're lovely.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, mate. Yeah, we got you loud and proud. Yeah, we got 30 minutes left of the show.
It's frozen on the screen as far as the picture goes. I come in and it's all right when I first come in, and then once I come onto this screen, it freezes. Nothing I can do about that.
Weird, isn't it? It's a bit weird.
It's the gremlins, mate. It's the Bitcoin.
No, honestly,
I could hear what you was talking about, the Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show. Interestingly, he had about 800 people tuning in, watching the live stream with this banker. And the banker was saying, this could really, he said, you got it all down with the law and everything. He said, but you might be missing the one trick pony, the financial aspect. Because we know, look, the banks own everything. The banks seem to think that they own us, our souls. They do. Honestly, when you get into the
crypto, mate, I can fucking tell you that.
So, right, okay. So that's where it's quite a powerful thing, because you can go to a cash machine in London. There's a Bitcoin cash machine. You can draw cash out.
Right outside King's Cross. There's several in London as it happens.
Yeah.
There's one in Brighton.
Right. So, okay. So there's probably, I could do a search how many Bitcoin cash machines are.
There's loads.
Right. So there's loads. So it's a thing. It's a thing. And it can't be obfuscated. People can't say, no, we don't accept it. You're lunatics. You're tinfoil hat wearers, loyal to the foil and all that.
Yeah.
So And if you say, well, listen, you want 800 quid off of me because you reckon Marston's bailiffs, you're after 800 quid. Look, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to pay you. So send me your Bitcoin details. I'll get you paid. Well, they can't accept it. They can't accept it.
Well, they can. They just don't wish to.
Right. The reason why they won't accept it is because that leaves with the original Bitcoin. It leads. I mean, I'm not in any sense of the words a mega man with crypto. I'm learning myself, but it leaves digital signatures. Like, say for instance, you give $2,000 of Bitcoin to the local council, and then they went on to use that for sex trafficking or child trafficking or sending that money to arms dealers. It's leaving a digital footprint, and it's a hot. I don't think we're under the under the illusion it's only sort of men and women that can have crypto and Bitcoin. Corporations can't really do it, can they?
Yeah.
Oh, they can do it. Okay, all right then. Well,
of course they can.
Okay. So, what would be the fundamental reason that they wouldn't accept it?
They just don't want to. They just don't want to accept. They don't want to get involved with crypto. They don't understand it. Most of them.
Right. But it is a thing, though, Dave, isn't it? So they can't. So if they say no, then they're refusing payment, and at that point, where can they go? They can't go to court, can they?
No.
Isn't it clever? It's really good, isn't it?
The whole of America. Don't hold me to the exact timings, but it's about 4 months ago, I think it was now. America said everyone has to accept Bitcoin.
Well, oh, sweet. Okay, listen, we've got Spearfire in the room. He's quite a technically minded man. What do you make of this, Spearfire? Oh, hello. He's not got his mic on. He's probably running across. He's running across the land now, trying to get to his computer.
Elon Musk, Mr. Tesla. He's just, I think it was about 4 weeks ago now. Might be 5. Might be as many as 5 weeks ago. He just accepted because he's the man behind Dogecoin quite heavily. And he's just you can pay for a Tesla now in Dogecoin. I mean, you can pay in Bitcoin as well. We've had it was about 18 months ago. The first penthouse in Brighton was bought with Bitcoin.
Sweet. Now this is I can imagine the good nation, if he's still watching this stream, will be at home wetting himself, because what this banker was saying was very profound, man. Very, very profound. None of us have really paid attention to this financial.
If the way cryptocurrency has gone, bearing in mind we're 11 years in now, just over.
Right.
Bitcoin being the first, and it's and I don't advise anybody to go out and rush into buying yourself cryptocurrencies or anything like that. I don't advise that because it is quite a technical thing, and you do have to understand quite a little bit of maths, the way it works. If you bought the maths is fairly simple. That is, if you bought a Bitcoin 18 months ago, it was round. I'm talking in American dollars. It was round about 67,000. Right this moment, I've got my trading platform open for cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin right at this moment is 21,590. So if you came into the market 18 months ago and bought a whole Bitcoin for 67,000, you'd be down a few quid at the moment, wouldn't you?
You would be, yeah.
In the next 5 years, a Bitcoin will be somewhere. This is the big boys in the city are talking somewhere between 360,000 and 1 million a coin within the next 5 years. So if you're sat on a £40,000 loss at the moment today, well, $46,000 loss today, in 5 years' time, if it hits the minimum, 360, you ain't going to be too upset with your $46,000 loss today, are you?
What if they turn all the power off and the computers go down? What happens then?
It won't happen. It can't happen. It's impossible.
I think that's an impossibility as well. Yeah.
They can't. That's never going to. People who say, "Oh, they'll turn the internet off and all that," no. It's way beyond that. way beyond that, mate. It could, the internet, not from a social media point of view, but from a financial point of view, payments. How are they going to accept card payments then if they take the internet off?
There you go.
How will the stock market work? Stock market work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week now. The days of working, the stock market doesn't shut at 5 o'clock anymore, does it?
No.
You know what I mean? Those days are long gone. And they should have reset the financial markets back in 2008. They know that, but they didn't because the bankers are too greedy.
Testing.
No one had the bottom to it. Hello, Snakebite. How you doing, my old mate?
How about you?
Snakebite. Hello, Speary babes. How are you, darling? You all right?
Yeah, not bad.
We live in the dream. What do you make of this Bitcoin thing then?
Yeah, I've made a little bit of money out of it myself.
Happy days.
Not so much Bitcoin, but other cryptocurrencies.
There's over 2,000 coins out there now.
Don't be fooled to thinking Bitcoin isn't untraceable because it's not.
Every single currency is traceable. And
platforms each Bitcoin and each piece of Bitcoin's got a unique number to it, and they can trace that from.
Yeah, of course they can. You have to pay your taxes on it and your capital gains. You're open to capital gains now on cryptocurrencies. It all comes under part of your capital gains. And people who think that they've made fortunes in the past and not registered, they'll be caught up with eventually.
Yeah, and it also only works when there's somebody out there willing to trade your cryptocurrencies for something like pounds or dollars. Once that exchange is gone, it's not really worth much.
Well, the thing with the Good Nation was, and Lawful Rebellion and Debts in this bank, it wasn't really to have major in this Bitcoin platform, the original Bitcoin. It was to use this as commodity backed, and so that you can offer payment to settle any bailiff, any water company, any energy company coming at you with that remedy. And then when they say no, because most of them are going to say no, then you've offered, and where can they really go? They've got no place to maneuver. And it was what this banker said was it was very in depth. And by the way, if anyone downloaded that show, if you could get it to the Good Nation, because he's looking for anyone that maybe have recorded that 2 and a bit hours. It was phenomenal. A lot of people were on there screaming and shouting, "Oh, it's a con, it's a con, it's a con." They didn't.
It's a Ponzi scheme.
It wasn't that. They didn't understand that the angle that we was coming from. We was coming at this is remedy for a single mother living in a flat with a bailiff knocking at her door. She ain't got nothing. All she's got to do is say, "Yeah, I'll pay you today. Give us your Bitcoin details." And
gives you crypto wallet.
Yeah, and at that point, what can they do? So it's a proper game changer. And this banker has had enough, and he's like saying, we've got to get things sorted. So did
you see the guy do that when he bought his petrol at Tesco with what was it, a £2? Was it? No.
Oh yeah, the coin. That was I know that. Yeah, it was a coin.
Remember? And
£20 coin. That's Marty Blackburn, that is.
Yeah. They wouldn't accept it, but it's legal currency.
It is weird,
That's like going back to the old days when people wouldn't take the Scottish pound note, remember?
Yeah, do I?
Oh, no, we don't take the Scottish notes. They do now.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
People wised up to it. They said, well, that's all I've got.
This is the power that government has. It's very Wizard of Oz. Today they say this £20 note is, and you can have a survival out of it. You can live your life, but then in 2 weeks' time, that's one going out, and it ain't no good to man nor beast. You might as well burn it. And so that is just a faith-based system. I'd love to.
What's a faith-based system?
Of course it is. That's all it is.
What
and
is?
Money.
Oh, fiat currency.
Yeah, it's just a faith-based system.
Of course it is. It's a belief system.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Belief system. You're not being funny. If you didn't have crypto, you'd be better off going back to the bartering system.
Yeah, bartering's pretty good.
Yeah, of course, you're much better off with the bartering system. That's why they still use it in places like Turkey and and Africa and other such places. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You've got
mate.
to remember as well that recently Ireland and England have been told, been warned about buy-ins. You know, the banks, not buyouts, buy-ins, like they did in, was it Greece a few years back, 2013?
So here's what happened. My mates showed me these papers, and in 2008, when we were told, right, that the banks got bailed out by the people,
They
no,
did.
no. What happened was, I've seen these papers. This is God's honest truth. 50 big, large corporations, energy companies, and alike. They was the ones that clubbed in, and basically they were given carte blanche to do what the hell they wanted to do. So now we see British Gas writing their own warrants and breaking into people's houses. Case the other week, a woman didn't even know. And then she's got a note on the door saying, oh, you've got to prove that this is your house and your new keys are at such and such. That's these big corporations bailed it all out and they were given carte blanche to do what the fuck they wanted. And this is why it's all going on. I couldn't work out why is this happening? Why these energy companies become so aggressive all of a sudden? Why are they coming around with the police and bailiffs? That's the reason. They were given carte blanche to do what they want. This is why we're at where we're at. With all the fuel prices, gas and electric prices, this is the reason. It's because of these big 50 corporations. Disgusting.
I think you'll find a lot of it, Dave, with all due respect to most people. I do know people that lead very, very busy lives, etc. And they've either got huge rents to pay, they've got more month left than money at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And a lot of people are either treading water or just trying to keep their nose above it so that they can still breathe a little bit. I do understand that.
Yeah.
But the working classes make up just over 60% of the population. In any country, it's the working classes that's the biggest people, from the poorest of the poor up to the fairly well-off working classes. You know what I mean? People who've made a few quid or been a bit lucky, however you want to put it. But it's predominantly the working classes make up the majority of the population. But we've been split and fragmented into so many tiny little groups. It's getting that huge part of the population together, you know, fighting for one cause, because we're either too busy shouting at one lot of working class because they support one thing and another lot of working class who supports maybe the opposite or something else. You know, it's whether you're anti the rainbow flags that are all over the gaff at the moment for Gay Pride Month that's turned out to be, or the Extinction Rebellion. The majority of them in Extinction Rebellion are working class or barely middle class. They're not all Chelsea tractor drivers, and they don't all come from Islington.
Yeah.
The majority of them, whatever group of people you look at that are out on the streets, the majority of them will be working class. Yeah. And they put us into such a, you know, whether you're for the jab, against the jab, for the mask, against the mask, for Brexit, against Brexit, for Boris, against Boris, for government, against government, Labour, Conservative, Liberal, Green Party. The majority of all those people are all working class.
Amen.
And they've split us into such small, fragmented pockets. We're too busy shouting at each other.
Don't we just?
It all come together, because the one thing that all those groups have got in common, whether you're LBGT, whether you're Extinction Rebellion, whether you're for global warming or no global warming, Brexit or no Brexit, the one thing we've all got in common is the people that are fucking it up for everyone are in a place called Westminster.
Amen.
And until everyone actually does get together and come together as one, and you're never going to get everyone together, are you? It's never going to happen. You're never going to get all 60 whatever percent it is now out on the streets in one time.
I guess it depends on how desperate things get. I mean, they're fucking labelling up and putting barcodes and security tags on packs of Lurpak and fucking cheese in the supermarkets.
Yeah, I know, mate. Listen, I am still convinced that call the group whatever you want to call them, snatch squads in a transit van, whether that's the police or whoever. I believe that they could put teams of people together throughout the country, drive around to people's houses, take their kids, take all their belongings, and as long as the people at the gate said at your front door turn around and said, the majority of people, it's for your own good. It's, as you've seen on the news, it's a government directive. It's for the best. It's what we need to do at the moment. Things will get better. People go, all right, then okay. And they'd let you do it.
Yeah, of course. That's what we do.
My house like that, some cunt's going to die. Sorry for swearing.
Sorry?
You come to my house like that, some cunt's going to die.
Yeah, but we're in the minority, Spear. Those people, yeah, of course, yeah, mate. I'd have the carving knife straight out the drawer. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying is, if they do a street, each street they do, and they go street to street, there'd probably be about 5 or 6 people in that street. How many people in your street do you know? I don't know how big your street is, but out of a street of 200 houses, how many of those people all go to a demonstration together?
No one.
No.
You know, when you go to a demo, most people travel on their fucking own. You meet people on the train or at the demo. You don't all travel up in a big group there where, you know, even a quarter of the street don't even go, does it?
I've seen one whole housing estate all come and gel together last year. It's a state I grew up on, actually. It was like a lot of houses were a housing association. It was it was sold to another company. They decided to put the rent up by something like 150%. So whether we're paying like £350 quid, something like that, they were putting it up to like 850, 900 quid. The whole estate came together, and that's the only time I've seen like everybody from every street on the street in meetings together.
And what happened?
Yeah, they did a lot of consultations and got the local politicians involved. That Andy Burnham from Manchester, he got involved with it. It was their initial price came down dramatically. It's still going to go up incrementally,
and that's the power,
but not by as much as it would have done.
Yeah, and that's the
power just reading news. It was the Red Vales estate in Bury.
Yeah,
there's a lot of footage about it.
And that's, everyone says, how do we stop it? How do we stop this? How do we stop the fuel going up? Listen, mate, that fuel will keep going up all the time. People go to the pumps and put it in their tanks and pay the bill.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
they'll
exactly.
keep doing it, mate. They'll do it until the pips pop, until there's no pips left to squeeze out.
Oh,
they'll keep doing
think
it.
about it. It was only 2006 when the price was about to hit £1, and they parked outside all the refineries, and they pretty much shut the fuel systems down.
They've made that illegal now, haven't they? To demo outside refineries.
Well, that's why it was hitting £1. It's already at £2 for diesel.
Yeah.
Where's
I filled up. What was it, yesterday or the day before yesterday? 148 quid to fill up. 148 fucking pounds.
Disgusting.
What are you driving?
A fucking Lear jet, I thought.
I reckon you are, aren't you?
148 quid, Dave, from not quite empty. It would have been, if it had been absolutely empty, I reckon it'd been 160.
What
Like
car is it? What car is it?
80 litres.
What car is it?
A Range Rover.
Fuck it. Excuse my friend, mate. They're
48 quid.
Yeah, so that, you know, they've now come out and said that they've made £7.3 billion since the. So what's it all about? I mean, the price of a barrel of oil's not really moved. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's corruption, isn't it? This is just. I mean, Mussolini.
You know all that money. You know all that money that was spent during the lockdowns, various reasons, furlough payments. All that money that was spent that was given to companies that you'll never have to pay it back. What were basically bridging loans, which is just to get you over. Oh no, you won't have to pay it back.
It was paid
all those
compliant
people who
for it.
honestly thought that money was never have to go and give your head a fucking wobble. When have you ever known governments give away free money? Ever?
Nothing. Never. No.
They don't
never.
realise it's their money they're getting back.
It's unbelievable. It is quite funny, really. We're weird people. I think we got to give ourselves a right old shake-up. I think it's coming.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah.
there's always there's that saying, isn't there, Dave? The straw that breaks the camel's back.
There you go.
Boris has just found that out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dubious as to why they're all resigning, and I mean, I just don't. Yeah.
What do you do
It's
when
an army
the ship starts
coming.
sinking?
Hey?
What do you do when a ship starts sinking?
Yeah, the rats always flee that shit, but that's not leadership. Someone that's a leader would never you'd stand, wouldn't you? I mean,
Of course you would. You stand your ground and fight together. Of course you would. But
yeah.
Listen, all those people that are sat in Whitehall, listen, at the end of the day, it's no different than. There he is.
There he is.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Good evening, Alan. I'm frozen, Alan, so you can't see me moving about like I'm
No, I
not.
just come on to say thank you to everybody for your kind words.
You're welcome, Al.
We're so sorry, Alan.
You're welcome.
It's difficult.
It is very difficult, mate. Yeah, very, very difficult.
Around my neck, so she's still with me. I've got an engagement ring around my neck.
Yeah, bless you.
And you know what? The good news is, Al, memories last a lifetime, mate. No one can take them away at any cost.
Bless your heart.
That's
Bless
it.
your heart, mate. Bless
That's
your
it,
heart.
Al.
Tough, isn't it? Very tough. Yeah, we all send our love. There's been some good people in the chat tonight, all sending their love to you, and we'll wish you the best. And
I didn't think it'd be as difficult.
no, I know. No, I know, mate. It's tough. We lose a lot. I mean, you've been with someone for such a long time. It's going to be, isn't it? You know, I got a great photo of my nan and granddad. They both got to 96. They was 5 years apart, but my granddad was in hospital, and someone took a picture of just his hand with a drip in it, and my nan was holding his hand as well, and I've still got that. And love is unquantifiable. Love is the value, really, and that's all we ever do. As long as we can keep that love in our heart and we don't let our hearts harden up, then life's not too bad. So
Well, considering what I went through as a child and having so many lost years for my first 25 years, you know, I was walking the wilderness, and then I met Kath, and by the time I got to my 40s, I kind of like forgot most of what happened to me as a child. I was looking for the day, and the same as in my 50s. And the worst part about it was in my 60s, the police coming back and opened a septic wound to ask me to relive what happened to me in them many lost years.
So why did the police do that? I don't understand why after all that time the police would do that. That's antagonising. They failed in their duty to deal with that when it was fucking happening. Honestly, I would disband the police. I know we need to keep the streets safe.
We live in such strange times and such a horrible world today, David. And listening to the show tonight and listening to everything you've been saying with Dave Spear and yourself, you know, the worst part of it now is I got a phone call out of the blue yesterday. And this guy says, this is Dr. Edmonds here. And I said, oh, yeah. He said, can you just tell me a little about Kathleen and so on and so forth? And I told him, I said, if you want to ask somebody a straight question, you know, I'll give you a straight answer. I do not think the care home helped Kathy, right, in our or time of need. Because when I walked into the care home, I saw her horizontally being fed. Who gets fed lying down flat?
No
I
one.
said you should got to be at a 30-degree angle.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to this Dr. Edmonds, they aspirated her by feeding her lying horizontally. That myself, I believe, scarred her lungs. Her
Okay.
lungs did not recover, right, from that scarring. They basically flooded her lungs to the state. It was almost like you saw pus coming out of her mouth. It was kind of yellowy, horrible stuff coming out of her. She was drowning with her own feed as they were feeding her. She was, she was drowning within her own fluids, and it was horrible to see. And she went through shit and hell, left in hospital beds for 17 hours without being, seen to. 22 hours in one hospital, 17 hours in another, failed discharges on 3 different occasions, 8 visits into hospitals. And this coroner, this guy said to me, you might get a call, because I've had a look at what the doctors are saying, because we've got to sign a death certificate, right? But we can't sign a death certificate because no one is putting a death reason on the paperwork. And a lot of the paperwork I'm getting back, it's been redacted, blacked out on her medical history, and I don't like what I'm seeing. So
No.
I will, and I am going to ask questions. And then out of the blue, I've got a call today from the coroner's office to say, we want to know if we can have your permission to have a look at Kathy's body. So they're going to take it now to Hull. And I know Kathy myself, if it stops somebody else or it happening to somebody else,
Yeah, mate.
that's what she would want.
Fuck my old boots, man. That is one touch. That's just so.
So I can't get a death certificate. And bless her, I didn't know. She took out a life insurance policy, and I didn't even know.
Oh, mate.
She took out over 50 plans. I didn't know.
Oh, man.
She was such an organised woman.
Yeah. We're all a bit stuck for words, Al. It's hit us all, and especially yourself. It's just a nasty business. We know what a lovely man you are, and we know that how much it's hurting you right now, and it's going to hurt you, and you'll never get over. We never get over our loved ones. Never do.
I'm going to go, Dave. If it's all right.
All right,
Alan,
mate.
God bless you.
Be lucky, Al. I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you tomorrow anyway. And I know you said you were going to come. You're coming on the Loquacious Live tomorrow night. We'll see how you go. And like I said, if you do come on and you do go on these shows, I did say to Alan that if he does come on any shows, he said he might pop in here tonight, and he did. He has done. And I said to him, at the end of the day, if it gets too much for you, Alan, just push the leave studio button, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't want to see you upset, Al. We know you are, and our best thoughts are with you, mate, at the end of the day. And you'll be coming down here soon. We'll take you out, get a few beers, have a drink. It'll get there. You'll get there eventually. I know you say everyone, like that's what I said to you earlier, Dave, isn't it? That everybody deals with things different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I've seen a lot of death in my life for various reasons, and it's a little bit like the hospital staff. You know what I mean? I know they do get upset when they lose their patients, but it is on to the next one. You know what I mean?
It's very sad, man.
And when you don't see it, hopefully you're in a position.
That's what I detest about this country. It's a revolving door. There's no. I don't know.
Well, I've got a pal of mine, funny enough, a little bit what Alan was saying about the NHS, how poorly it is run. A pal of mine who I was at the show with last night, Chris McGlade, he's a surgeon at my local hospital. He's only 40. How old? He's 42. Yeah, young 42-year-old. Anyway, he's a surgeon from he's from St. Lucia. That's where he was born. Born and educated in St. Lucia, and his parents live in Brooklyn, his mum and dad, and he spent quite a bit of time in Brooklyn in New York, and he eventually got approached and poached. That goes against my principles myself, that we as a nation, United Kingdom, 5th or 6th most wealthiest nation on the planet, will go to places like St. Lucia, the Philippines, India, and other such poor nations and pinch their medical staff or poach their medical staff, however you want to put it. Anyway, I was talking to Elon this evening, was having a glass of wine after being out for the day, and that we had a glass of wine having to sit down. And he said, "Do you know what, Dave?" He said, "I earn between £5,000 and £6,000 a month as a surgeon as an NHS surgeon." He said, "But do you know what?" He said, "They bring in locums on the weekend." He said, "And these locums that they bring in to his surgery, they pay him £150 an hour." He said, "And all they do is they'll bring somebody in who's got a nose problem, a throat problem, or whatever, because his ear, nose, and throat. And all they do is they're ticking the box that you've been seen, you're no longer on the waiting list." And all they do is they refer them straight away to Elon and his team.
Good.
So they pay triple the money an hour that he gets to see a patient, to refer him to Elon. He said, "You know what?" He said, "I'd quite happily come in on a Saturday and do that, look at them and work out what they need to be done to them for half that money. For half that money,
yeah,
I'd rather pay a private locum
we're just a little mess.
And the other thing the NHS are doing is he's gonna come on the show, and you'll get it from the horse's mouth. He's going to come on the Loquacious Live and spill the beans on it. And he said the other thing that happens is GPs now are that they'll have somebody come in who's got maybe a nose problem, bit of extra mucus, and it's going down the throat. It's annoying. It's giving you a tickly cough, etc. And so that they can get them off their books as a GP from them coming to their surgery 2 or 3 times a month to say, "Oh, I've still got this tickly cough. You know, the mucus is coming down through my nasal passage, down the back of my throat. It's giving me or they refer them to as a possible cancer patient." And then Elon will have his time taken up looking at somebody who all the GP needed to do is give them a course of antibiotics to clear it up, and the job would be done. So
it's a dead dog, Dave. The NHS is a dead dog.
GPs are passing people off to specialists for no reason other than get them out of my surgery.
Yeah.
And so they can keep the numbers going and have the revolving door thing. It's been the admin on it is absolutely abhorrent now. But he's going to come on and he'll give it to you. I don't explain.
Yeah, right. Well, the show has come to an end. I'm feeling very maligned because I'm feeling for Alan. So I want to thank you, Dave, for tuning in and ripping the knob
you're
off.
welcome, mate.
God bless you. And you, Spear Thrower, and to everyone in the chat room and everyone around the internet world, thank you all for tuning in. Spear Thrower, do you want to chat, see us out?
Yeah, night, Dave. And Dave.
Thank you, Jenny.
Dave and Dave.
And everyone watching. So thanks for having me on.
God bless you all.
God bless.